All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful ideas in all of Western philosophy, Plato's theory of beauty. And trust me, it's about a whole lot more than just a pretty face. For Plato, it was nothing less than a journey of the soul. So let me just throw this out there. What if that initial spark of attraction, that feeling you get, what if that wasn't the end of the story? What if it was just the very first step on this incredible spiritual journey? That's the question right at the heart of Plato's theory. And his answer? Well, it's pretty mind-blowing. You see, for Plato, that feeling isn't just a feeling. It's a spark. It's a sign, a little hint of something way, way bigger. It's like our soul is recognizing a faint echo of where it truly belongs. Okay, so to really get why this spark is such a big deal, we have to understand the huge problem Plato was wrestling with. He called it chorismos. Basically, it's this giant gap, this separation between our messy physical world, the one that's always changing, and this other world, a perfect, eternal, unchanging world of pure ideas, what he called the forms. The big question for him was, how on earth do you get from our world to that one? And this is where beauty makes its grand entrance. Plato's absolutely brilliant solution was that beauty, the beautiful, is the bridge. It's the one thing, the only thing, that can connect our real, physical world to that higher, perfect reality. All right, so you might be thinking, why beauty? I mean, Plato could have picked other big ideas, right, like justice or courage. But no, he says beauty has these totally unique qualities that make it the perfect candidate for the job. The ultimate destination on this journey is what Plato calls the form of the beautiful. The easiest way to think about it is like the perfect original blueprint for beauty. Everything we see as beautiful down here in our world, a person, a sunset, a song, it's all just a shadow, a faint, kind of imperfect copy of that one true, eternal form. So what's the magic ingredient? Why is beauty the perfect bridge? Here's the kicker. Plato argued it's the only form we can actually perceive directly with our senses. We can literally see beauty. You can't see justice, right? But you can see a beautiful face. This makes it the most shining, the most accessible of all those perfect ideas. And when we see it, it triggers something deep inside us, a memory in our soul of that divine world we came from. Okay, so if beauty is the bridge, you need something to get you across it, right? You need an engine. And for Plato, that engine is eros. Now, we got to be clear here. When Plato talks about eros, he doesn't just mean romantic love or, lust. It's way bigger than that. It's this powerful, cosmic desire, this deep longing for wholeness that literally pushes our soul upwards towards the beautiful. So we've got our bridge, beauty. We've got our engine, eros. But how does this whole journey actually work? What are the steps? Well, in his famous dialogue, The Symposium, Plato, speaking through a wise woman named Diotima, gives us a very clear step-by-step roadmap. And this is what's famously known as the ladder of love. It all starts on the ground floor. Super simple. You're just totally captivated by one person's physical beauty. But then you start to notice, hey, that same kind of beauty is in all beautiful bodies. And that's the next rung. Then your focus shifts. It goes deeper, from the physical to the inner beauty of a person's soul, their character. From there, you climb even higher, and you start to appreciate the beauty in things like good laws or a just society. Then the beauty of knowledge, of ideas, of philosophy. You see the pattern? Each step takes you from the specific to the more general, from the concrete to the abstract, until you reach the very top. And there you get a direct, overwhelming vision of the form of beauty itself. Now, this whole thing sounds pretty incredible, right? But it also brings up a really important, kind of tricky question, and it's one that philosophers have been debating for centuries. What exactly do you do with the ladder once you're at the top? To put it another way, once you've had this amazing vision of perfect ultimate beauty, what happens to that person? The one whose beautiful face started this whole thing? Do they just become irrelevant? Did you just use them to get to the top? So there are two main schools of thought on this. On one side, you have the exclusive reading. This one says, yep, you absolutely have to kick the ladder away. Those lower rungs, physical attraction, the love for one person, they were just tools to get you where you needed to go. Now they're just distractions. But then there's the inclusive reading, which offers a much different and, I think, more beautiful perspective. It says that getting to the top doesn't mean you abandon what's below. Actually, it means you can finally see those lower rungs for what they are and appreciate them in a much richer, deeper way. So which one is it?
Well, if you look at Plato's own life, the evidence really seems to point towards enrichment. Think about it. Plato himself, who probably climbed this ladder, continued to deeply love and admire one specific person, Socrates. He didn't just cast him aside as a lower rung. His higher understanding seems to have enriched that love. It suggests that real love isn't about leaving people behind for some abstract idea. It's about learning to see that perfect idea shining through them more clearly.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This is fascinating, but it's all just ancient Greek philosophy, right? What does it have to do with us? Well, this idea of Eros as a fundamental driving force has had a huge impact, and you can see its echoes all the way into modern psychology.
Take Sigmund Freud, for example. He grabbed Plato's big, expansive concept of Eros and defined it as the fundamental life force, our will to live. He saw it as something much, much bigger than just the sex drive. And he was very clear about it. He directly connected his idea all the way back to Plato's Symposium.
And it wasn't just Freud. Carl Jung had his own take, interpreting Eros as our innate desire for wholeness, for what he called psychic relatedness. Basically, that deep, profound yearning we all have for connection with other people. You see? Both of these giants of psychology saw exactly what Plato saw, a fundamental, driving energy inside us that pushes us towards connection, towards wholeness, towards meaning. So, let's circle all the way back to the beginning. This journey from simple attraction to cosmic understanding, it isn't just some abstract philosophical exercise. It's a map. It's a map of the soul's incredible potential. And that leaves us with one last question, a question for you. What beautiful thing or person in your life right now isn't just an end in itself, but could be the very first rung on your own ladder?